Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Friday, February 12th, 2016, around 5:55 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. The sun's going to be coming up in about an hour. Going to be a nice and sunny day. Maybe a chance of a snow flurry here and there, coating to 2 inches if we get a squall, but it's only about a 25% chance. Bundle up this weekend in New England. Windshield watches is probably going to be changed to warnings. Some news to report: Boston Bruins beat the Winnipeg Jets by the score of 6-2 last night. The UMass Lowell Riverhawks beat Maine basketball team by the score of 108-95 in overtime. And 207 years ago today was Abraham Lincoln's birthday. He was born. He's on this day, and he's 200. He was the 16th president of the United States, and it's Happy United Nations Red Hand Day. So don't get caught red-handed by the United Nations today. And that's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is the continuation of the top 100 greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. In this video blog, I will be talking about the greatest matches of all time from 40 to 31. We reached the top 40, like Casey Kasem would always say, America's Top 40. Now it's hosted by Lying Street Quest. Anyway, that's another subject for another day. Here are the matches of the greatest of all time for pro wrestling, 40 through 31. Number 40 on this list is Nature Boy Ric Flair facing off against Harley Race for the NWA World Title at Starrcade 1983 with Gene Kaminski, the referee, in a steel cage match. This was a Flair for the gold. This was to culminate Flair's and Race's feud, and this was an awesome match. Back and forth. And it was held at Greensboro, North Carolina, near the heart of Ric Flair country. Flair gives the fly-in off the second rope and pins him 1, 2, 3. And Gordon Solie said he did it. Ric Flair has just defeated 7 times NWA World Champion Harley Race. This was the second time that Ric Flair won the World Championship. Woo! Number 39 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Tully Blanchard facing off against Magnum TA in a steel cage match, and an I Quit match at Starrcade 1985 for the NWA United States Championship. This was one of the best Starrcade matches of all time. A lot of blood in this match. And in the ending, Magnum TA put Tully Blanchard into bloody pulp. And Tully said, I quit, and Magnum TA won the United States Championship. Number 38 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat facing off against Nature Boy Ric Flair for the NWA World Title at Wrestle War 89 in Nashville, Tennessee on May 7th, 1989. This was the third of a great series that Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat had in 1989. It was awesome matches. These were legendary matches. Ric Flair beat Steamboat for the NWA World Title. They had 3 judges. They must have been, the thing must be a winner. And afterward, one of the judges, Terry Funk, congratulates Ric Flair and he challenges him to the NWA World Title, but Flair refuses. But Funk says he was just kidding. But Funk attacks Ric Flair and gives him the pile driver on the table. It was an extreme move back in 1989. Number 37 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time, The Undertaker facing off against Kane at In Your House, Unforgiven in 1998, and it was an awesome Inferno match, a fire match. This was awesome. This was, in the middle of the long-running feud, which I didn't care for, but this match reeked. It was the best of this series. Number 36 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time, The Undertaker facing off against Mankind in the Boiler Room Brawl at SummerSlam 1996 at Gun Arena, which is now Quickie Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. They taped the Boiler Room Brawl a day before, and when they got the signal to come down to the arena, they did, and it was an awesome match. The object was to get the urn from Paul Bearer, and this match had Paul Bearer turn on the Undertaker inside with Mankind. Paul Bearer broke the unbreakable bond with the Undertaker and joined Mankind, and Mankind beat the Undertaker and took possession of the urn. Possession's 9/10 of the law. Don't forget about that. Number 35 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Bret the Hitman Hart facing off against Owen Hart in a steel cage match at SummerSlam 1994 for the WWE Championship. This was a 36-minute steel cage match, and was, a lot of quick trying to escape the cage. Owen put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter, but he can't win a steel cage match by submission, and he had to go over the cage or through the door, and the ending had Bret and Owen climbing the cage out, and they were just going down. Owen got caught in the cage, and Bret jumped down, and he won the cage match. But afterwards, Jim the Anvil now had attacked the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, and Bret the Hitman Hart, and Anvil and Owen locked the cage up, and they beat Bret up until all the family members would save Bret, including the British Bulldog. Number 34 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Shane McMahon facing off against Vince McMahon in a street fight at WrestleMania 17. Both Shane and Vince aren't really full-time performers. It was father and son, and this was an awesome match considering they weren't full-time performers. Vince and Shane gave it his all. Shane had the Van Terminator. Mick Foley was special guest referee halfway through. Trish Stratus brings a sedated Linda McMahon in a wheelchair, but halfway through she gets into a cat fight with Stephanie McMahon. Cat fight, as Joey Styles would say. And Vince was cleaning Shane, and he dragged Linda into the ring, and she sat down. No, she was still in a cold state, but Linda gets up and kicks Vince south of the border. And then Shane beats Vince for the 1, 2, 3. It was a great match. Number 33 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. The Hardy Boys. Matt and Jeff facing off against the Dudley Boyz. Bubba Ray and Devon. Devon, get the tables! And Edge and Christian in a tables and ladders and chairs match at WrestleMania 16 for the WWE Tag Team Championship. This was an awesome match. In the end, Edge and Christian win by grabbing the belts, and this was a start of their heel turn, which was an awesome heel turn, like 5-second photography. You gotta like that. Number 32 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. Rowdy Piper facing off against Greg the Hammer Valentine, a Starrcade 1983 in a dog collar match. The Hammer's NWA United States Championship was not on the line. This was the culmination of their feud that started with Greg the Hammer Valentine beating Rowdy Piper to a bloody pulp and injuring his ear, and the referee had to stop the match, and they gave the United States title to Greg the Hammer Valentine. Hammer won the 1983 Most Hated Wrestler of the Year by PWA because of that incident, because it was sadistic. And this was a culmination of their feud. Valentine was working over that ear, and Piper was kind of losing equilibrium. But in the end, Piper chains up the Hammer and pins him 1, 2, 3. And that was a great match. If PWA's feud of the year was around 1983, Piper's Valentine's feud would probably rank up there, probably would win it. And number 31 on this list of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time, Hulk Hogan against Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff in a steel cage match for the WWE title at Saturday Night's Main Event in 1987, January 3rd, but it was taped December 14th, 1986 in Hartford, Connecticut. This was the culmination to blow off the long-running feud when Orndorff turned on Hogan at his edition of Championship Wrestling in summer 1986. They did awesome house show business, one of the biggest house show business in the history of the World Wrestling Federation, or WWE. And this cage match was unbelievable. They had a false finish with both Orndorff and Hogan going out at the climbing out of the cage at the same time. They had two referees, Joey Marella and Danny Davis. This was the heart of Danny Davis in his heel turn, and Danny Davis gave the match to Paul Orndorff. They thought Orndorff won the WWE title, but they gave the match. But Marella gave the match to Hogan, and then they had to restart the match, and it was basically Hogan's match, and he beats Orndorff afterwards. Hogan takes Bobby the Brain Heenan, Orndorff's manager, and beats up Heenan. Heenan took big bumps back then because it was one of the biggest bumping matches of all time. And that's about it on that. In a few hours, I'll be back to do a video blog of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time from 30 to 21. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Julie brought in his new 6, Orlando, Florida. She is a cute blonde with nice legs. Molly Rosenblatt is so awesome. She's Mighty Molly of WCCO. Elizabeth Hutt is so stunning, and she has an unforgettable smile and nice legs. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out. Don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. Questions, comments, concerns, shout-outs, plugs, future video blog suggestions. Send it to me and it will be addressed. See you in a couple of hours. Bye.